Welcome to Autism Knows No Borders. Discover what's possible when people impacted by autism inspire change and build community. Together with the Global Autism Project, here's your host, Rachel Harmon.
Hello, everyone. I'd like to use this first episode to give you an idea of what the Global Autism Project is, who I am, and what this podcast is about. The Global Autism Project is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to empower communities impacted by autism worldwide. We partner with international autism centers and build capacity from the ground up through education, outreach, training, and the promotion of acceptance and compassion. Our CEO and founder, Molly Olapini, will be on the show in the next episode to share the organization's history and what we're up to these days. For now, I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a board-certified behavior analyst, or BCBA, originally from California, and I currently live in Barcelona, Spain. I became involved with the Global Autism Project in the summer of 2018 as a volunteer traveling to a partner site in Uganda. The organization's volunteer program, called SkillCorps, serves to provide hands-on training to our partner sites 3 times a year. It's also an opportunity for a beautiful cultural exchange between the SkillCorps team and the host partner. You'll be hearing more of our SkillCorps volunteer program in other episodes of this podcast. About 4 months after my trip, the Global Autism Project hired me as one of their regional coordinators. My role was to communicate weekly with our partners in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East, while other regional coordinators supported those in Asia and South America. In line with our organization's motto, do with, not for, we collaborated with our partners to develop sustainable goals for their centers. We trained teachers in applied behavior analysis, or ABA, and also provided administrative and outreach support. Each quarter, we would visit the sites in our regions to check in with our partners and conduct assessments. Another big part of the job was to communicate with SkillCorps teams on the ground to ensure that site-specific goals were being met. At the start of 2019, I moved to Barcelona to communicate more easily with our partners on this side of the world in their respective time zones. It didn't take much to convince me to relocate. I enjoy living abroad and immersing myself in different cultures. My friends often wonder where I'm moving to next. After college, I lived in Tokyo, Japan, where I taught English for 2 years. I also spent another couple of years in Paris, France, where I was practicing ABA in school and home settings. I truly feel in my element when I'm learning new languages, connecting with people from different backgrounds, and practicing cultural humility. I first began working with children with autism as a piano teacher in San Diego back in 2009. I had an 8-year-old student who was on the spectrum. For the sake of this story, I'll call him Justin. Although he picked up on concepts effortlessly and didn't need to be reminded to practice, he would have pretty severe meltdowns whenever he would play any wrong notes. He would cry, bang on the keys, and sometimes throw himself on the floor. I wanted to help him control his frustration, so we practiced coping strategies like deep breathing, counting to 10, and taking movement breaks. My only reference to ABA at this point was from a class I had taken in college as a psychology major, but I followed my instinct and eventually saw a difference in Justin's behavior. Over time, he was able to tolerate making mistakes. He also learned how to have fun while expressing himself through music, and even joined a piano recital where he proudly played in front of an audience. The challenging months I had spent helping him manage his outbursts became a blur in the past. It was on that afternoon that I felt a calling to help other children like Justin. In the following years, I delved deeper into behavioral science, working for several agencies in California, and eventually pursued my BCBA. There was a point in grad school when I wanted to fuse my 2 passions, ABA and music, so I took on another degree in music therapy. I plan on eventually finishing my internship, but for the time being, I've decided to focus on other projects, such as getting this podcast started. Nonetheless, studying both programs at the same time really put me to the test. I had to make many sacrifices and spent countless weekends attending a class or studying at home. I'm sure some of you who have tried to balance school, work, home, and a social life can relate. Okay, that's a little bit of my background and experience. fast forward to November of 2019 when I was having a conversation with my boss, Molly. We were talking about other ventures within the organization that I could be interested in. I brought up the idea of doing this podcast, and she immediately said,
"Yes, go for it."
"Yep, that was her." For more enthusiastic Molly, be sure to check out episode 2. Anyway, here we are today. We're so excited to finally launch this show. Autism Knows No Borders is a work in progress, and just between you and me, I'd never really interviewed anyone before, except for my grandma when I was in 2nd grade, but we'll save that story for another day. In any case, your feedback will help shape our future episodes so that we can deliver content in a way that you find valuable. Remember our motto, do with, not for? This podcast was intentionally designed to be co-created, an evolving platform developed with you, our listeners. Feel free to email us with topics you're interested in, questions for guest speakers, or if you just want to have a chat. You can get in touch with us at autismknowsnoborders.com. I want to take this moment to give a shout out to our podcast launch street team. Without all of your continued support, we wouldn't have been able to get this show off the ground like we have. This podcast is the voice of our Global Autism Community. We'll be speaking with a wide variety of people impacted by autism, from family members and international service providers to autistic self-advocates who have something to share. We invite you to go on this journey with us, a journey to discover what's possible when people step into the unknown, what's possible when people take bold action, and what's possible when people find opportunity in the face of adversity. Our aim is to transform how people relate to autism all across the world. Profound change happens when we're uncomfortable, and people who are familiar with our work know that we leap into discomfort daily. So we ask you to do the same. We'll be exploring controversial topics like ableism, international aid, volunteerism, and ABA's reputation amongst the actually autistic movement. Through shared stories of struggles and breakthroughs, we hope to extend the reach of human connection and remind people that they are not alone. We are not alone. You are not alone. You've been watching Autism Knows No Borders. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Also, we'd love to hear from you, so let us know what you think in the comments section. Click here to watch another interview from our podcast. You can also find us on your favorite podcast app. Tune in each week for engaging conversations of how people across the globe are inspiring change and building community. Thanks for watching. Take care.